and NA. Sky and Scroll in first place, game number 6, getting dropped on and fought by Vico Malabuka. Clix and Higgs trying to win their Div Cup and having to take down Peterbot in the very last game. We had Cold and Rapid also trying to grief Peterbot. Pete fans are not happy. There is so much to recap. Let's jump into it. I'm sorry my voice is still a little bit funny. I promise you it's getting better, but this Div Cup Finals ruined it. I streamed this, I was yelling, I was screaming. This was such a good Div Cup Finals. In a time coming into LAN where Div Cup Finals arguably never mean more, this was a good Finals on both EU and NA, but we'll kick off with NA. You probably already know who won it on NA, but we're going to go to game number 5, not game number 6, because the finish was crazy, but there's a little more to it. So in game number 5, Peterbot and Poyo found themselves
out, even with the high ground, but maybe it's a little bit of a bait. Poyo's lurking back, shots getting answered. It's Cold just trying to get Peterbot off his high horse there. Rapid and Cold, they're just essentially just kind of stuck, waiting for Peterbot and Poyo to make a move, and that's instantly going to happen for Peterbot. Shockwaves right back into the mix, not able to steal the wall though. And that's going to be the interesting thing with Rapid and Cold kind of playing on the defensive end. How are they going to come back from it?
I mean, right now, it feels like Rapid and Cold are almost just playing to try and take Peterbot's game out here. They don't seem like they're playing to win this fight. They're just playing to make sure Pete loses it, which, I mean, it's a decision. It's a strategy. I don't know if this is the kind of person I'd want to make this play on. Peterbot, we know he does not forgive. He does not forget. So we'll see. 70 builds here. Cold and Rapid trying to disengage here. A lot of pros, a lot of teams in Peterbot's situation might be like, all right, they're disengaging. Sweet, we'll play our game out there. They're leaving us alone. But we know Pete might actually be more aggressive to push this, to try to like make them learn, teach them a lesson from trying to make this play. Now, anytime a team pushes the team in first place and tries to play this aggressive, it's going to upset people. The roles are usually reversed though. Normally, it's Peterbot doing the pushing. So while this did get P fans a little bit upset, I feel like it's kind of fair. Either Cold and Rapid were trying to get payback because they got taken down by Peterbot a few times the game earlier, or they're in like, I think a top 6 position at this point. They were trying to take down Peterbot to go on and win the tournament. Either argument at this point is totally fair if you're doing it against Pete of all people, because Pete's been doing this a lot. You know what I mean? Like, Pete's been getting around. Pete's been going after big names. Pete's been making some enemies, and I think we're kind of seeing the result of that here. So we don't really know exactly what Cold and Rapid were going for here, but all credit to Peterbot. My man handled it very well. When this pressure comes, when Peterbot and Poyo are put in those positions where other big teams are trying to go toe-to-toe with them, trying to take them down, the reason why Pete's been so successful over the years is Pete delivers. So Pete doing really well here. Cold and Rapid having to disengage. They went on to have a decent game out of this game anyway, but at this point, Peterbot and Poyo were still holding on to first, but they ended up going down early in this endgame. Now, I don't think it's anything to do with Cold and Rapid, because Peterbot and Poyo, as you saw, got out relatively unscathed. If anything, it actually helped Peterbot and Poyo because they got a bunch of free surge when they did get zone on their POI. So going into game number 6 though, that actually meant that Clix and Higgs were in the lead, because this is how they closed out game 5. 296. Those are the points to beat. There is a world where we can flip the whole script here, Jacob, and it's actually Clix and Higgs in first place going into game 6. They're trying their best to spray in and open it up. They've got that Nemesis AR. They're not running out of ammo, but they're running out of resources outside of this. 19 builds between them. Higgs gonna try and get some damage. That gold SMG should be putting in a bunch of pain right now, but this lobby's kind of stalling out right now. Now they're dropping down on front side. Now they're getting the damage. Now they're getting the elims, and this should be a free win for Clix and Higgs.
Yeah, already won, taking down Braids. Visuals gets taken down by King. Clix dropping down as well. 2v1 situation. They're immediately going to try to clean back on up, and Cryptid just scrambling around, trying to get to the zone, but he gets taken down. King is now left by himself. He has 60 eliminations, 7 for the team, multiple shockwaves, but he's also dealing with an immense amount of pressure coming out from above. A mountain to climb. He does have the shocks, but they're just trying to block him off. They have the extra build. King, he has to go outside of the zone. He takes the first shot. He has to quickly ping pong back in, but he gets sent right back to the lobby instead. Clix and Higgs take game 5.
So this now means going into game number 6, Clix and Higgs are in first, Peterbot and Poyo in second. Now, my prediction was both these teams are going to drop their regular POIs, and then maybe Peterbot tries to key Clix, or Peterbot just plays his game out normally and hopes that Clix and Higgs have a bad game and he can win. But you guys already know, Peterbot likes to take matters into his own hands. Peterbot decided to key over to Wonky, but he wasn't even the first team there. Clix and Higgs were already in a fight with Ishu, and things got really messy. But wait, is there a world where Peterbot and Poyo think this is Clix and Higgs though?
That's what I was thinking. That's literally what I was thinking.
They're gonna think this is Clix and Higgs, but down here's Clix. I mean, they might know the skins though. They might know the skins though. That's the other thing. Oh my God, what a game 6. Wait, no, they know this is Clicks.
Yeah.
No, they know this is Clicks. No, they figured it out. They have definitely figured it out. Higgs has to stand his ground. Can Clicks and Higgs, after all the smack that they've been talked against them this season, and especially the last week, can they deliver now? This is their chance to undo all of it. Clicks gets some good damage on a Pollo. Pollo's weak now. He's pushing him back. I mean, Clicks is handling himself well. These are the box fights. Yeah. I mean, Clicks is the pioneer, the king of box fights. Whether he's the best anymore, there is undoubtedly that Clicks is the one who put box fights on the map. That was unfortunately for Clicks 6 years ago. But at this point, Clicks still looking like he's got it right now. Pollo having his handful trying to deal with Clicks right now with these different box fight peaks and angles. I'm not a big fan of watching box fights, as you guys know, in creative. But man, when the stakes are this high in an actual game, Clicks, there's the big damage, but Clicks gets in, takes down Pollo, and now it's Higgs versus Peterbot in a 1v1. Jacob, I don't want to be that guy, but I'm a bit worried. Historically, Higgs has not handled these situations well.
Nope, and
oh no! And he proves me wrong. Higgs takes down Peterbot. The curse continues. Higgs, with all eyes on him, when the lights are the brightest, my man delivers. That is Peterbot down and out. You heard me there at the end. I was nervous. Usually when Clicks and Higgs are in these situations, it doesn't go their way. Clicks, all credit to him, was absolutely putting in pain to Pollo throughout that whole box fight. Clicks had hit so many big pumps. He ended up jumping in, managed to take down Pollo, but got traded out. But then Higgs, he stood up, he delivered. It was a 1v1 against Peterbot, and he won it, but only just. Now, interestingly, apparently Clicks and Higgs didn't even know this was Peterbot and Pollo. Clicks and Higgs actually thought they were fighting Yomzo and Josh. He thought that Yomzo and Josh were coming off the mountain and trying to make a play to get a bit of, revenge on Clicks and Higgs for some of the smack they've been talking on him and a bit of the beef they've had in the past. So Clicks didn't even know this was Peterbot, which could have maybe helped a little bit with the pressure. I thought in the moment, Clicks had to have known this is Peterbot because it is such a Peterbot style play, but Clicks and Higgs won the fight, but they hadn't won the tournament yet. They still had Visuals and Braids in second place at their heels, and Kingling and Craze. They only had about a 50-point lead. Now, that is a decent lead, but you got to remember, a win is 65 points, each elim is 4. A lot of the teams in the top 5 at the end of tournaments like this have already had over 60-point games, so they don't have it in the bag just yet, and Game 6 endgame was phenomenal.
The Clicks down to just one build, a couple more players rotating right above, trying to wait for the perfect opportunity to try and strike. Leaves himself an opening toward the backside of zone. Doesn't get gifted. Zone pulling in his favor, but you see he's just trying to work his way through it step by step, taking his time until he finds the elimination on to Ultra inside of the top 15 already, and he finds 4 more points, just one step closer to essentially mathematically clinching that one. Big flank on the King. That's him and Craze underneath. They land a first shot onto Clicks, down to 6 HP. He's trying to stay alive, but the zone is slowly but surely creeping up. Gonna end his run here.
I mean, the movement around the outside, Cyclops doesn't realize. Great play by Clicks. The composure right now with the pressure is his edit. It's almost enough, but 361. Kingling and Craze are up. Top 9 situation, 52 points. I think the difference, I'm not great at math.
They need elims.
It's 65 points for the win. So at this point inside top 9, unless Kingling and Craze kill the entire rest of the lobby, I think Clicks has just done it. He's taken down Peterbot in game 6 and gone on to win the tournament.
It right now. They're trying to go ahead and move up. Another big elim there on Decade. They reunite back into the same box, though. King's just kind of letting Craze take a lot of the pressure. He needs the timing in order to heal. The zone is kind of moving up the side of the mountain, so Craze can no longer wait and try to play hero. He has to make a mad dash inward. Luckily for him, he not only get to the front side of the zone, but has the Chug Jug to recuperate any lost HP. Hopefully he can pass over the rest on over to King, but no, just seconds too late. He runs into Josh on the other side. Big elim there for Josh. It's only 4, slowing the roll of Craze and King.
326 now. I mean, you got to think of a full circle again. Josh in these lobbies competing, arguably because Clicks bought him a PC, takes down Kingling. Maybe the saving grace for Clicks here, but I feel like they've done enough. Craze, 326 points. Phenomenal solo player, but Josh on the other side of the wall, healthy with that shotgun in hand. I mean, as I say that, Craze, wait a second, almost takes down Josh here. 2 young up-and-coming talents on the region. Josh goes down, gets beamed from above. It is a 1v1 situation. Joe jumps in, takes down Craze, who gets a 2nd place in game 6 with all the pressure. Just like that, coming off the back of a very disappointing grand finals. A lot of people on Clicks and Higgs' case talking about how they sold, how could they play so poorly, but Clicks and Higgs delivered. Not only did they win the Div Cup finals, they did it by taking down Peterbot in game number 6. It was a super dominant performance. It is worth pointing out as well, Higgs didn't load into game 1, so Clicks managed to get a 0 elim 13th, which I believe is about 25 points in game number 1 as a solo. So they could have won by even more. This was a super dominant performance from Clicks and Higgs. They did it a few times. They just played a lot better and played